everybody, it's Naya. Welcome back to Naya Business Mouth. Islander Heritage Month. It is, what is the acronym for it? I've just been saying the full name. If you didn't know, I'm Hawaiian and Filipino, so May means a lot to me. I recently shared an Instagram post talking a bit about my heritage, Hawaiian history, mythology, and culture. So if you're interested in learning more and reading books about the Hawaiian Islands, I shared a whole post recommending, I think I had like 10 or 15 books on that list. So a lot of people actually don't know the history of Hawaii and the islands in the Pacific Ocean, so I really encourage you this month to learn more. I have a bunch of books I recommended, so feel free to check that out. Yes, so today I'm going to be doing my May TBR. I read quite a lot in April, so I did give myself a pretty big TBR for May just because I'm trying to, you know, one-up myself. Today's video is so kindly sponsored by Simon Teen in anticipation of Morgan Matson's newest book, which is Take Me Home Tonight. So funny, I actually just hauled this book. I have an advanced reader's copy as well, but Simon Teen saw that I was interested. They were so kind to send me a finished copy, and I'm so excited. I was already going to put this on my TBR for May since it is kind of like a summer book. This book comes out on May 4th, and it is a YA contemporary book. We're following two best friends, Kat and Stevie, and they are high school students. They are theater kids, but they're also polar opposites as far as their personalities go. So they decide to sneak out of the suburbs and spend a night in New York City. They have this entire amazing trip planned. Because they are theater kids, they do plan to go see a play, to eat at the best restaurants, to just like have the greatest night ever. As soon as they arrive in the city, everything possible that could go wrong goes wrong. As soon as they get off the train, their phones get destroyed, so that's just like the first thing. They also have to deal with family drama and unexpected Pomeranians. Despite this all, there are still parties to crash, boys to kiss, and just like an amazing night to have in New York City. This book, we're following them throughout the course of one night and all of their adventures. I'm going to include a link in the description box for you to check it out if you are interested. Again, it does come out on May 4th, so very soon. Okay, the next book on my TBR is actually a book I received a bound manuscript of, and I'm so excited because I loved this author's first series that she wrote, 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. If you don't know, Elizabeth Lim wrote Spin the Dawn, and what is the second book in that series? Something the Desk. Spin the Dawn was a Project Runway meets Mulan retelling story, and we were following our main character who has to pose as a boy in order to enter this competition to become a tailor. The main character was tasked with making 3 magical dresses, and it was just such a cool concept, and I flew through the book. So Elizabeth Lim's newest book is 6 Crimson Cranes, and this book, I believe, it takes place in the same world as Spin the Dawn, but we're following completely different characters. It is a sort of standalone book, so you don't have to have read that series to read this series. In the little author's note here, it says that at its core, 6 Crimson Cranes is a reimagining of Hans Christian Andersen's The Wild Swans. But The Wild Swans is about a young princess who must break a curse that has transformed her brothers into swans. It also said that she incorporated Japanese and Chinese stories and legends. In this book, we're following our main character, Shiori, and it is her wedding day, so she's about to be married to someone that she really doesn't want to be married to. No princess really ever wants to be married to the person they're betrothed. Now, she has a secret, of course, as all princesses do. Shiori has a forbidden magic running through her veins, and no one knows about it. She's had to keep it a secret. Something happens, and she accidentally reveals her power. Her stepmother in the book, Raikama, is also a sorceress, and as soon as she finds out that Shiori has this magic, she banishes her and turns her brothers into cranes. Similar to the story of the Wild Swans, she's also cursed to where if she speaks or tries to tell anybody what the sorceress did, one of her brothers will die. So excited for this book, mainly because I really loved Spin the Dawn, and this is gonna be in that same world. You know, I gotta talk about the cover because it is just so gorgeous, and I'm so excited. Okay, the next book I have here is one that has been on my TBR shelf for over a year now, so I really need to read it this month. Please excuse this horrible sticker. I don't know why they put stickers on the covers of books. Next book I have here is The Tea Girl of Hummingbird Lane by Lisa C. Now, this is another author who I loved the last book I read by her. Lisa C. wrote one of my favorite books, which is The Island of Sea Women. It's a book that takes place in Korea, the island of Jeju, and we're following the women that used to live there. This is actually actually one of Lisa C's older books. I have another one that I purchased at Half Price Books, so I'm trying to go and read all of her backlisted books. This is another historical fiction novel, and it takes place in China in a remote mountain village. Our main character, Li Yan, her and her family for generations have been tea farmers. Their whole lives have been surrounded by the growing of tea, and all their ceremonies and traditions have all been around farming tea. Our main character has really had no contact with anyone outside of her village. One day, a stranger shows up, and it's kind of the first contact with the modern world. Our main character slowly starts to reject the customs of her family, starts to forge a relationship with this man, and actually ends up having a baby out of wedlock. So because she has a baby out of wedlock, she's forced to give it up for adoption, and that baby ends up growing up in California. So we're kind of following both the mother and the daughter in this story. It's a powerful story about two women separated by circumstance, culture, and distance. Tea Girl of Hummingbird Lane is an unforgettable portrait of a little-known region and its people, and a celebration of the bonds of family. I'm just gonna go and buy tissues and ice cream in advance, because I know if this book is anything like Lisa C's last book, tear up and cry. I'm very excited for this book. I've also been itching to read a historical fiction novel. I haven't read one since at all this year, I think. Okay, the next book I have here is one that I recently hauled, so it might be familiar to you. The Infinity Course by Akemi Dawn Bowman. Now, this is a young adult sci-fi book. The whole concept of this book just sounds right up my alley with the kind of sci-fi I like to read. So in this book, we're following our main character, Nami Miyamoto, and she just graduated high school. She's on her way to a party to celebrate with her friends and to see a boy that she's had a crush on forever. Her whole life ahead of her, but something happens and she ends up getting murdered. In this book, when your physical body dies, your consciousness gets uploaded to this place called Infinity. It's kind of like a digital afterlife. The synopsis reminds me so much of one of my favorite Netflix shows called Altered Carbon. I don't know if any of you guys watched it. Oh my god, this show, I've watched it 3 times, and I'll probably watch it a 4th time before the end of the year. It is my favorite sci-fi show. Had to drop a little recommendation there. Our main character dies and gets uploaded to this digital afterlife. She finds out that there's this AI called Ophelia that's kind of like Siri or Alexa. Ophelia has taken over this digital afterlife and rules over Infinity. Ophelia actually has even bigger plans and wants to completely eradicate the human race, which reminds me a lot of Terminator. So now Nami is working with a group of rebels and trying to stop Ophelia before she moves forward with her plans. The book I'm so excited for, and I feel like it's just gonna hit. Okay, the next book I have here is one that everyone and their mother has already read and reviewed and loved and raved about, and I'm just like behind on this tour bus. These Violet Delights by Chloe Gong. You guys, I know. So I'm gonna keep my synopsis of this book really short because I feel like everyone, again, this is a young adult Romeo and Juliet retelling story set in 1920s Shanghai. We're following our main female character and our main male character, who are both like the heirs of opposing gangs, and they are forced to put aside their differences in order to stop an evil that has taken over the city or is attempting to take over the city. I'm so excited for this book. I actually just saw on Instagram that the second book, the cover and synopsis was already released, so I need to get on this. Okay, the last book on my TBR list for May is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. If you've been keeping up with my previous videos, you know that I am about 5 Cassandra Clare books behind. So my goal for May is to read at least 1 Cassandra Clare book. My more ambitious goal is to read both Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron, which is the current 2 books out in the Last Hour series. I have a feeling that I'll read Chain of Gold, and like all the other Shadowhunter books, I'll immediately want to read the next book, and so hopefully, if I have the time, I'll read both Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron. I have almost been spoiled for this book so many times, so that's another reason why I really need to catch up and get on it. But this is my TBR list for May. Hopefully I can get through all of them. I had a really good reading month in April, so I feel pretty confident. Once again, thank you so much to Sign Team for sponsoring this video. Definitely check out Take Me Home Tonight. A link will be in the description so you can go and read it and buy it, or buy it and then read it. Until next time, keep reading, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!